Happy Thursday, everybody. Meteorologist Hunter Forst here, giving you guys the latest on Hurricane Erin and the impacts we've seen already and the impacts we can continue to see as we go throughout the rest of the day today. You know, it's been a cloudy, windy day. We've seen huge surf thanks to some of our reporters that have been out there this morning. They were out there yesterday giving us what we needed to know on what was going on at the coastline. We've been seeing a lot of good photos being sent in from the beaches of the Outer Banks, Virginia Beach. But today we've seen a little bit of coastal flooding in downtown Norfolk. I know every time I go outside, it's super breezy. It's definitely a bit breezier closer to the beach, but definitely can tell that there is a big storm out towards our east. And luckily, we're not going to be seeing any landfalls. It's actually moving away from us. So every hour, it just gets further and further away from our coastline. So that's the good news. But we still have our weather impact alert in store for today through this evening for the chance to see some tidal flooding and rough surf as well. We're seeing some gusty winds. So it's just one of those days where you want to stay weather aware. And of course, you don't want to go into the water. That is the last thing you need to do. We have tropical storm warnings up for the eastern shore down through Virginia Beach and into the Outer Banks. So a good portion of the area, a good portion of the coastline under those tropical storm warnings, and they actually extend all the way up into New Jersey as well. But here's a look at the latest satellite imagery of Hurricane Erin. The 11 o'clock advisory has come in. It's looking, not terrible. It's trying to keep its act together. Wind speed has come down a bit, but this is just a ginormous storm. We could kind of see, how many miles across. We could do north to south. About over 700 miles. From north to south. So it is just a giant storm. And one thing I did learn today from meteorologist Evan Stewart, who was in this morning with me, the last time we had tropical storm warnings up for portions of the Outer Banks and also Bermuda at the same time was back in 2012 when Superstorm Sandy was making its way through. Luckily, this system will not be making the same path as what Sandy did. Thank you to this this front off towards our north and west. This is helping to push Erin away from us. And also one thing to keep in mind, or that you'll notice, we're not really seeing much in the way of rain. It's really just the coastal flooding and the breezy conditions that we're going to see today. We saw a few showers, but that's really the least of everyone's concern throughout the day. The bulk of the rain staying offshore as this continues to make its way off towards the north and east. So right now, winds are sustained at 100 miles an hour. So this has continued to come down over the last couple of advisories. The 5 o'clock advisory, we had winds of around 105, and now for the 11, it's at 100 miles an hour, and we're seeing that forward speed increase. It's not by a whole bunch over the last couple of hours, but we went from 17 to 18 miles an hour, moving towards the north-northeast, and each hour we'll continue to see this get further and further away from us, and it'll continue to pick up forward speed. And by Sunday, it'll be all the way in the middle of the northern Atlantic, all the way past Canada. So it will be skirting on by. So even as we head into this evening, we'll see improving conditions, and especially into tomorrow. But we still have to watch out for some of that coastal flooding, not only this evening, but for tomorrow as well. Here's a look at some of the recent wind gusts around the region. Eastern Shore, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Wallops Island 29, Wachapreague 21 miles an hour. Newport News, Hampton 20 to 25 mile an hour wind gusts. I would say the highest wind gust we've seen has been down into the south side and the Outer Banks, closest to the coast. Right now, seeing gusts close to 40 miles an hour in Cape Henry and Virginia Beach. Norfolk, 36-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Chesapeake, 22. Definitely the further inland you go, you're not going to be seeing those strong wind gusts. But down around the Outer Banks, Elizabeth City, 30 to 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Oregon Inlet, Rodanthe, Hatteras, seeing gusts around 31 miles an hour. Here's a look at the peak wind gusts we've seen so far. Around 40, 44 miles an hour in Virginia Beach, 44 in Manio, even 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Norfolk International. Close to 30 in Newport News and Hampton, 30 in Wallops Island, 35 in Edenton. But again, you'll notice you go to Emporia, Franklin, Williamsburg, those wind gusts certainly not as high. And as we go throughout the next couple of hours, we'll start to see these gusts slowly but surely coming down. Now, it'll still be breezy heading into this evening and even heading into tomorrow morning. We'll still see gusts, maybe up to 20 miles an hour. But by the afternoon, things really should start to wind down, and it should be much better by Friday evening. Gusts, only 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, the main concern again is more of the coastal flooding. We have coastal flood warnings in effect for the Eastern Shore, Exmoor, Cape Charles, down into Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Hampton, Williamsburg, Saluda, all under that coastal flood warning. And we've even been seeing some of those concerns already out there this morning. Could get a little bit better as we start to get more into low tide. But once we get into high tide again this evening, we'll start to see it pick up again. So around 7 to 9 o'clock tonight. So we could see that high tide. And we could see moderate to major tidal flooding from Sewell's Point to Lynn Haven Inlet, Yorktown, and Duck Pier. Major for Lynn Haven and Inlet, and major for Duck Pier up to about 7 feet. Moderate for Sewell's Point and moderate for Yorktown. 5.9 feet for Sewell's Point and 5.2 for Yorktown. Another thing we've been seeing are some big waves. Earlier this morning, one of those buoys out there, we saw a wave height of 45 feet. That's a big wave, 45 feet. Right now, not seeing that. It's about cut in half with that buoy out there. But look at that wind gust, 67 miles an hour. That's a pretty hefty wind gust. But 22-foot waves out there right now, even up into, New England, still seeing, 10 to 15-foot waves. And even around here, these buoys right off the coast, 10 to 20-foot waves. So that's why you do not want to get into the water. So dangerous when you have wave heights like that. They even canceled the, surfing competition because the waves were just too dangerous. So when you have professionals that aren't going to go in because it's too dangerous, no one should be going in there. The only area that's seeing some smaller waves up around northern New England, Maine, getting in on that. But things are better down into the Carolina or South Carolina and Florida, seeing some bigger waves, not crazy, 4 to 5 feet, up to about 7 feet off the coast of South Carolina. But it's really around our area where we're seeing wave heights 12 to 19 feet and 22 feet way more out, closer to the center where you're getting those stronger winds and stronger wind gusts. That's why you're seeing that 67-mile-per-hour wind gust on that buoy. And, we're seeing 40 to close to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts in those buoys closer to the Outer Banks and Virginia Beach. Now, over the next couple of hours, we'll see these wave heights starting to come down as Erin pushes even further away from us. But even by this evening, 8 to 10, 11-foot wave heights, still pretty hefty, and we'll continue to see that trend as we head into Friday morning. So if you do head to the beach on Friday, the weather will be a bit better. We'll see more sunshine, but there's still going to be some issues at the beaches. definitely still going to be another dangerous day to get into the water. Still going to see some chop out there, 9 to 11 foot waves. So even though you'll be seeing more sunshine, maybe a little bit less breezy, the wave heights are still going to be rather dangerous, and so will those rip currents out there. As we head into Friday evening, wave heights coming down a bit, but still around 7 to 9 feet. Let's take a look, though, at what else we're tracking in the tropics. We have Erin, and earlier this morning we had 2 other areas we were watching, but now we have 3 areas that we are watching out there. The first one, that area in red, a 70% chance of development over the next week. So that's a good chance, we could see our next named system, but you'll notice that curve, that red blob, it's looking like if something does develop, it'll stay more out to sea. So that's some good news there. We have the area here in orange, which has a 40% chance of developing over the next 2 to 7 days. That's Invest 99L. A lot of these models keeping it further down to the south, but something we just have to watch over the next couple of days. And now what's new as of today is that little yellow blob in the middle of the Atlantic. 30% chance of development within the next couple of days. It's just more of some disorganized thunderstorms out there right now, but we could maybe see something little develop out of that, but nothing really of major concern out there right now besides Erin. A lot of the other things, we have plenty of time to continue watching, especially that area in orange. And that's exactly where Erin started out. That's the main development region. You get a lot of waves coming off the coast of Africa during this time, and you could get a lot of these storms forming in that region. You have a very favorable environment for development. So end of August into September, which is the peak of the season, you really start to see that area lighting up. And this season is no different. That's exactly what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. Let's take a live look outside at our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view. It's just a cloudy day, cloudy, breezy day. Gusts 30 to 40 plus miles an hour, especially if you're near the coast. Temperatures well below average, mid to upper 70s right now. It's 74 in Norfolk, 77 in Virginia Beach. We're looking at 74 in Wallops Island, 79 in Elizabeth City, and 77 down in Kill Devil Hills. Things are looking good here on our satellite and radar. We were seeing a few light showers earlier this morning, could see a few this afternoon, but overall, our main concern again are those higher tides and breezy conditions. But I would say the higher tides is the biggest concern. Maybe some coastal erosion as well with those huge waves. As we take a look at the futurecast, heading into this afternoon, could see an isolated shower or two. And as we get into our Friday morning, temperatures really cooling down. Comfortable start to our Friday in the mid 60s for a lot of us. 70 in Norfolk, 66 in Suffolk, 66 in Gloucester, and we'll see more sunshine to start off the day. A mix of sun and clouds heading into the afternoon, but overall, a great Friday compared to today, but those coastal concerns will still be an issue for the day tomorrow. Maybe not as bad as what we're seeing today, but still a chance of those concerns tomorrow. Heading into Friday evening, great. Mid to upper 70s, clearer skies, a little bit breezy, but overall, to end off the work week, it's going to be a really great Friday if you have any outdoor plans. And the nice weather sticks around heading into the weekend as well. 82 degrees on Saturday, mostly sunny, beautiful, lower humidity with that north wind. Going to be feeling really comfortable. 84 on Sunday, partly sunny. Rain chances going up a tad, about 30% chance of some showers, but overall the weekend looking great. Not looking like a hurricane just went off towards our our east, it's going to be looking good. 82 on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. But we'll start to see temperatures taking a bit of a turn by the end of August. A lot of the middle and eastern half of the United States are going to see some below or even well below average temperatures to end off the last week of August, and we're not going to be any different. We're going to see temperatures rising a bit over the next few days, mid-80s by Sunday and Monday, but by the middle of next week, we could see highs only in the upper 70s, 78 on Wednesday, and then lower 80s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And our average high for this time of year is about 86. So we started off the month of August below average. I believe it was our fourth coolest start to August. So I guess we'll see where we end up at the end of the month in terms of the entire month, how cool we are compared to other years. But here's a look at our 5-day forecast. We have the weather impact alert for today. Breezy again tomorrow, 80 degrees. Still could see some of those higher tides, but the weekend's looking good, especially Saturday, 82. Isolated shower chance on Sunday. And then our warmest day of the next week is looking to be Monday, 85. And then we see those temperatures dropping back into the lower 80s to even upper 70s. So again, we have that weather impact alert through this evening for that tidal flooding, rough surf. It's going to be breezy. One of those days where you want to stay weather aware. But of course, we'll continue to keep you updated here. Evan and I will be on the noon today, which is in just about 42 minutes. We'll be on there together, giving you guys the latest on Hurricane Erin. And then we will have Taylor and Tim in this evening to continue to keep you updated as we go throughout the rest of the day. And then we'll be back again tomorrow, even though things will be a little bit better. I'll be in on daybreak. Evan, Tim will be in through the afternoon and into the evening to give you guys the latest tomorrow. But overall, should be much better than what we're seeing out there today. Appreciate you guys joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.